Hi and good afternoon, it's Gene from maverickstar Observatory. A couple of things I want to get through in this video. I'll try and keep it brief. One is I want to say big thanks to our patrons, those people that make those one-off PayPal donations to the Observatory. You know, without you guys we couldn't do what we do here. The other thing is, you may have noticed on news the pushing, and it seems to be now more than ever global warming. We've already cleared this matter up with regards to CO2, but it just shows you literally how corrupt the world governments are and how stupid they think we are. You know, we are cascading right now to somewhere which I can only describe as really dark. We are going to end up somewhere really dark with all this nonsense. I mean, we saw what happened in Afghanistan. You know, my heart goes out to those soldiers, you know, that have lost limbs, lost their friends in that war, and then all of a sudden they walk out and just leave it. I mean, did we really need to spend £2 trillion on catching Osama bin Laden? Was any person in this world ever worth £2 trillion? And that was just the cost to the United States. It's not the cost including the costs that Europe have invested in that, and you know, the UK and even Russia had to go you know, Afghanistan and failed to conquer it. I am convinced that an alien invasion couldn't conquer Afghanistan, and this has been proven time and time again. And now to see, and it really annoyed me, it really did, guys, 200 aircraft, Black Hawk helicopters. I'm not sure of all the names of these helicopters there, but there was lots of them. And watching, you know, the Taliban drive around in Humvees that was manufactured in the United States. How could they have left that equipment to those soldiers and just walked away and abandoned all the people over the last 2 decades that supported, you know, the American and British troops and European troops? How could they just abandon those people as they have done? The whole thing is just crazy. You know, we live in a world now where we arm terrorists to the teeth, you know, with helicopters, Black Hawk helicopters. Can you believe we do that? Anyhow, you know, that's just one other thing. But in general, you know, the attitude of people and governments is just going by the way. You know, it's going crazier. You know, you must know as well as I do that it is clear that we are heading towards massive trouble. It's not just that we're dealing with the pole shift, it's everything else. You know, we are having to live with governments pacifying us with the drivel that global warming is caused by man's CO2 emissions. Do you realise they don't have to go to war to earn a lot of money anymore in backhanders? All they need to do is use CO2 to justify the stealing of the taxpayers' money. That's where we're at right now. They are not prepared for what is coming, these governments around the world. If they are putting so much effort in the wrong arena, i.e. CO2, and not in the pole shift, then we are going to be left with our pants down when that event happens. And from what we can see already, you know, it causes cardiac arrhythmia, so heart failure. It causes cancer. You know, it can take the grid down with a moderate CME. And there is no preparation. There is no even acceptance that the magnetic pole reversal is a serious event. And we only have to look at Mars to see how serious of an event it can be. I am totally shocked and totally worried about where we're heading. And it is across all the ranges. It's not just about the governments being so corrupt. You know, we are going to get to a point where we're going to do something about it. If they think that they can keep lying penalising good scientists and good research in the name of stealing taxpayers' money, then at some point it's coming back on them. I guarantee you that. They will be, just as was Gaddafi, being torn to bits by the public in the streets. Because I think you'll agree with me, enough is enough. We are sick and tired of hearing these lies and now watching mainstream media ram it down our throats, these lies about CO2, man-made carbon changing the climate on this planet, when they are 180 degrees wrong. You know, aren't you sick like I am about all this to do with this pandemic? We all know by now, surely, that have done the research, have listened to the side talks by these politicians, that we know that this was a man-made virus that got out of a lab, either on purpose or by mistake. But this is not a natural virus made by nature. This is something created by man, and it has caused this much trouble. And then we're having to deal with the CO2 lies and bullshit. You know what, guys, I could go on and on and on, but you know, I don't want to keep you. I know it's your time's important, so let's get on with the Earth's health at a glance, and just go through, you know, some of the things that we do here at the observatory with real equipment, using the scientific method of recording these things. And of course there is an archive on this website for you guys, so you can see the truth. There's your CO2 in parts per million at 422. You got your atmospheric oxygen, and then beneath that you've got your longitude and latitude of the magnetic North Pole, which was taken on the 17th last month. We're a couple of days away from it. We'll be doing it again this month. It is going to be interesting to see whether that acceleration of 20% is still there. We've got 24 active volcanoes. Sorry, I missed out the radiation background. That is pretty solid. You know, 16 or 14 never really deviates much in the microsieverts on that. You know, that's solid. Then you've got 24 volcanoes in eruption. I think we had 26 the last time we'd done a reading, I think on the 7th of September this month. We've got the largest earthquake there, 5.8 in Japan, and then we have the muons per square meter per hour in the UK at 524, and the muons per square meter per hour in Canada at 849. You know, thanks again, Kendall, for sending us that data, and thanks for all those other people that have got, you know, our equipment out in the field in different parts of the world. We've got 2 sunspots, or 2 active regions. The geomagnetic field is quiet, solar X-rays are normal, and of course we do have, as you guys know if you've been following us, unsettled jet streams around the world. And we have a changing magnetic intensities over various locations. To mention one, Canada is depleting, Russia is increasing in intensity, and that is the reason why we've got this magnetic pole migration taking place right now. But you know what is always at the back of my mind is what happened to Mars when the magnetosphere shut down, probably because of solidification in the core. Now we do have active volcanoes, which is telling us that our core has not solidified. Mars doesn't, hasn't had an active volcano for hundreds of thousands of years, and it was probably the reason why the magnetosphere shut down on that planet, and then subjected it to what is the term used by NASA, sputtering, which is a stripping or an ionisation of the upper atmosphere. Once that's gone, then it starts on the liquid water on the planet, and we know it had liquid water on the planet because we can see on the terraform those little veins where, you know, water would have had to run for thousands of years to erode away into the valleys that we see, which are those little veins running across the terraform of Mars. But it doesn't mean that our core won't solidify at one point. And, you know, I could also say that about our sun. You know, I could say that at some point in the future it's going to supernovae. It is in the nature of planets to do this, and it is in the nature of stars to do that. But I don't think, and I really hope that is not the case, that we are approaching a point in time where we could see a supernova of the sun. It would destroy everything in our solar system, and it wouldn't make no difference about our daily lives or beings at that point in time. We could do nothing about that. I have heard talk about micronovas. I'm sure you're familiar with Ben Davison, Suspicious Observer. He has covered some talks on micronovas and said that could be possible. Anyhow, so join us in a couple of days' time. We'll get the the Trimag data out. We'll do the magnetosphere data as well, and we might have from Kendall in Canada another reading from his muon over the last week, because the one that I've included in today's Earth Alpha at a glance was from the 7th of September, I think it was. It just keeps us up to date with what's going on with different types of radiation, and keeps you guys informed. That's the main thing. The only other thing to say is, we really could do with some support here at the observatory. There is costs involved, and a lot of work gets put in. So if we could at some point just encourage a few more people perhaps to come onto the website and click the donate button, because we have 15,000 people walk past that donate button. Maybe one or two might click it a month, I'm talking. But if it's more convenient for you, and you've only got to drop down into the description box, you'll see a PayPal link there. You can make a donation to us that way. Main thing is, guys, is that you look after your loved ones, and tune in a couple of days on the 17th, where we will be pinpointing the latest magnetic pole position for this month. Okay, have a great day. As always, bye for now.